garlic, garlic, garlic. I really gotta fix my nails. It looks so gross on camera. Third attempt almost looks like a heart. Look at that. This is the second one from earlier. Dang, I'm ashy. And then this is the first one. I almost had a heart. It kind of looks like a skeleton, but yay. Oh my God, look, I did something. I don't know what I did, but I did something. It's better than what I did before. Here with these crazy looking hearts. But I did something. It's supposed to be like a bumblebee, but it doesn't look like what the girl did in the video. But it's something. It's more than what I had before. Look at that, look at that, look at that. I don't know. It could be like one of those old lady coaster thingies. Remember when your grandmother used to have that on the table? Yes. I've had Mr. Grumpy since, I don't even know how long. That's been like when I was like 3 or something when I got a look. He don't even have a nose anymore. Look at his neck. But I will never throw this one away. Look at his eyes. But this is something I won't throw away ever. Blanket. My bed is unmade. This is where I keep my pillows. So I read there for a little bit, and now I'm going to talk about the books I've been reading on my Kindle. So this isn't going to be very long because last week I didn't finish any books, and it's because I was trying to catch up on my chapter updates for my books. Okay, so last week I read a few pages of this one. That one, I'm not really like, I'm having trouble getting into the story. It's just too much detail, if that's a thing, and I need less detail so I could I just want to get into the meat of the story. So I took a pause on that. And then last week I started reading this one, A Tangled Web. And this one, I didn't get too far. I'm actually halfway through the book, but I stopped because I was having a hard time with the whole baby trapping thing. And to me, the main character, usually I love the female characters and hate the male characters because the male characters are usually like really selfish and whatever. But in this case, it was reversed because she was ready to trap him. I mean, I get he was already in love with her, but she was ready to trap him and make him believe the baby was his, knowing the baby was not his, and it was his best friend's. She's a hot mess. And the whole thing with this one is the first guy she was originally with turns out to be her half-brother. And so she panics because, you know, who wants to have a baby with a half-brother? And his best friend had fallen in love with her, and they had become close, and she was ready to trap him into a marriage and fatherhood, knowing the situation. And then his mother found out, and his mother and her mother were former best friends. But another twist, they stopped being best friends because her mother was initially with his father, but they didn't like her, I guess because she was black and she didn't come from a certain kind of family. And so he went to the best friend, and they were together for years. But ironically, the best friend took the husband, but he hated her, and they never really got along. So they eventually divorced. So she lost the best friend for no reason. So technically they're like all siblings in a way. The two best friends turned out to be half brothers, and then they ended up falling in love with one half brother's half sister, which kind of makes him like a cousin. This is confusing. I just didn't like the whole baby trapping thing. I don't like baby trapping. I don't like when guys poke holes in condoms and traps a woman, or like purposely puts her contraceptive pills in the microwave, which I didn't even know was a thing until recently. I don't like it because personally I was baby trapped. We had planned for kids, but initially we were going to wait. And then when I was about to break up with him, I found out I was pregnant, and he was all like, oops. So I don't like baby trapping. So I didn't finish that one because it was pissing me off. Then I started this one, Sinner's Vow. This is a really good book. It's not that it's not a good book, and so was the first one I just mentioned. They're both really well written. I just didn't like the characters. This one, once again, I'm not feeling the female protagonist. Like, I feel like I get she's really afraid. She'd been abused for most of her life by the father. And then her father basically sold her off when she was 17 to be married to a Russian mobster who abused her. No matter what she did, he got a kick out of beating her. And then she tried to run back home, and her father let her cry on his shoulder, and then called the husband back to take her back. And eventually she got out of that marriage, but then he sold her to the male lead, and they start to fall for each other. But once again, it's just the lack of communication. She doesn't even try to tell him about his cousin being disgusting or anything. And then it reached the point where the mother died, and the whole reason she's agreeing to any of this is to protect her little sister. And that is why I wanted to read the book, because as an older sister, I would do anything to protect my sister, and I have protected her and taken care of her for our entire lives. Like, if somebody rolled up to my sister, I don't care if I wasn't talking to her or mad at her, and they attack her or threaten her, I'm ready to fight. I don't care. Literally, my younger sister is my first baby. I have been taking care of her since I was 7 on my own. I have been the one to give her medicine and feed her and all that. So that was why I really wanted to connect with the character. But she did everything so stupid. Like, she just didn't move smart. And she let the cousin violate her and didn't speak up. And I understand she's scared, but she could have found a way to get the evidence to him, or even just like feel him out to see what he would say. She didn't try, but they end up sleeping together, and she's still not very trusting, and I had to take a pause on that book. They both don't trust each other, and it's kind of maddening because they're both decent people. I mean, he's a mobster, so it's not really good or bad with that, but he's doing what he has to do to survive. And then, so I didn't finish that book either. And I definitely finished the Mafia Daddy book. Loved it. Loved it down. Loved it. I'm rereading it. It was really good. It was really well written. I liked both the male lead and the female lead. It was so short, and I was so sad. I know I picked it because it was short, and now I want to get the whole set. Well, not yet, because I hate when I get a whole set and then it's only the first book that I really love. That happened with what's the book that I had? I loved the first few books, but the rest of them I did not like. It was something breeder. Oh, Chosen as the Breeder was the first set I got, and it's by Bella Moondragon. And then the second one I got was another breeder book, but it was like a little slightly different. Just a slight difference. Basic formula. It's like how I write my stories. Every time I'm writing my stories, I have an idea, but then I want to change the ending, so I just create another story, which is like a second version to it, with almost all the same plots. I just put in like twists, different twists. Where's the other one? Hold on. See if I find it just by her name, because I have so many books. Okay, so yeah, I have Indebted to the Mafia King. I read the first book, didn't get to the second one yet. Loved that, the first book. Oh, why did I just do that? And then Chosen by the Breeder. I love the first 2 books, but I was like, and the third book. And then I was also obsessed with where's the other one? There's other books I had. Why they don't have all of them right here? Oh, The Culling. Loved it. Did not get the second one yet. And then Bought by the Alpha. Loved Bought by the Alpha. Loved by the Alpha. But the way the Love by the Alpha ended, I didn't want to get the next one. But she's really good with usually her first books. But so I didn't finish. I'm not sure if I want to get the Mafia Daddy series. But last week I did not finish any books. And then I started another Mina Carter book. Mina Carter's another writer I really love. And then I started this book about an alien. But it's in the middle of the series and I didn't realize it. So I was reading it and I don't think it's a standalone. So I'm going to go back to the Breeder books this week. This Mina Carter book, and I'm going to try and finish this Sinners book. But that's what I read last week.